Hello, in this demonstration, I'm going to make 3 mixed media studies where I try to put it all together, meaning I'm going to begin with a doodle, like my Moodle doodle continuous line work with Posca pens, Sharpie, and charcoal pencil on 3 sheets of drawing paper. Then I'm going to add some collage material, then I'm going to do some brayer work, and then some transparent and opaque paint. So I'm trying to put together in an integrated fashion all of these different techniques, which is what we're always trying to do with mixed media. So here goes. I'm going to start with the charcoal pencil. I'm going to do my continuous line doodle. It can be connected to a feeling if I want it to, or I can just go for it, which is what I'm doing. I'm using the charcoal in hopes that when I start adding wet media to it, there'll be some sort of interaction. My main goal is to get that page filled, get some line work on it. Okay, now Sharpie, and I'm going to try and use different line work. I'm going to go more angular and jagged here. Okay, there's the Sharpie. And now I'm going to do the Posca pen. I think I'm going to do 2 colors. Let's see. All right. It's a favorite pattern of mine to do lately, sort of this infinity loop. Just trying to get more ink on there. Okay, that seems pretty good. Now I'm going to incorporate some bits and pieces of collage material. Here are some book pages that I've stamped. This is a cap from a deodorant cap that I just made as a stamp. Do a repeat pattern. This is a little bit of serrated palette knife work. And again, I'm going pretty spontaneously. Right away, what I like about this one is I can kind of connect this curved line in with this angular line. And this is all by chance. I couldn't have pre-planned any of this. All right, and not really focusing on composition. Well, maybe a little bit, 3 points there. And the purpose of doing 3 is to keep it loose. I don't really want to put all my eggs in one basket, so to speak. Let's see. Okay, I'm just going to start there. I'm going to glue these down with a gel medium. Hang on, maybe one more here. Can also do plain paper if I want. So I'm going to use a regular matte gel. Heavy matte gel is fine too. You can choose gloss if you prefer. And I'm just going to get these pieces down here quickly. So the goal of this is to practice integration of these different techniques we've been studying, and then get enough of these studies going, and we'll put them into a larger piece. And the charcoal smears a little bit with the gel medium, but I like that. I like that look. Could actually do it deliberately if I wanted to, which maybe I will. The nice thing about coating a page with gel medium too is after it dries, and if I apply paint to it, I can also wipe it off and remove it. So I'm going to coat this whole thing, and hopefully it dries quick enough, and then I can demonstrate that process. All right, so I've got all of my collage material down. I may come back and add more later, but that would be applying collage material. Now I'm going to explore. The next step would be to get some paint colors that you'd like to explore. I'm going to do this Cobalt Teal and Yellow Ochre because I think I'll get a really interesting green. And then I may add some white to tint it, lighten it up. And the first layer, however, I'm going to apply with the printmaking brayer, which we have done. I'm going to put out. I'm going to roll Yellow Ochre on some, and I'm going to roll Cobalt Teal on others. I'm hoping to get a transparent layer, and then I'm going to mix these two colors and build some more layers on top. Okay, I'm going to start with the Yellow Ochre. Again, using my brayer, back and forth, light touch to roll out an even layer of this paint. And then I'm going to roll on top, and I can go in a directional, if there's a movement going on there, I can go with that. And then if I want to pull some of that paint off, I just keep rolling, pull some off my brayer, rolling, and it'll pick it up. I could also use my scraper to pull some of that paint up so I get more of a transparency. Okay, now I'm going to go Cobalt. This is a Cobalt Teal. I'm going to go on this one. I think that'll go nicely with the red. And it's just however I feel like rolling that paint on. I'm doing shorter marks here. I'll do some over. And scrape that back. And I'm going to do both colors on this one. We'll do a combo. And if it's too thick, I can scrape. So I'm exploring a bunch of things here. I'm exploring color interaction. I'm exploring transparency. Opaque layers will be coming soon. And integration of materials. Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3. All right. Now I'm going to mix some of these, get a gradation. I want to have one that's a little more turquoise and one that's more on the yellow ochre end of things. Okay, and now I'm going to start applying using that 45-degree angle, light touch. I'm going to plop on some thicker opaque blobs of paint. If I overlap some of my collage pieces, they will be a little bit more integrated, almost like a window. Here, I'll do it purposely. So there I created a little bit of a window. I can come in and Sgrafitto and mimic some of those original lines at the bottom. I can, here, scrape out so you can see them. And then over here, I can continue those lines. Would be better if I had a stick. And then the layer I cannot show you here would, when this all dries, I would come back and dry brush across some of those lines, so they would show up more. And I'm just moving quickly, making quick decisions. There's one, still more work to be done. I'll go on to this one now. Get out my palette knife that has serrated teeth. If I don't like something, I can go over it again and keep manipulating that paint until I get what I like. The metal palette knife gives a cleaner what am I trying to say? You can cut through it and you get a much cleaner, crisper transparency. Add a little bit of white. Okay, now I'm going to go on to this last one. And at this point, I'm so in the flow that I'm just using what's there on the palette. I'm not overthinking it. I'm just playing with it. And another thing you can do, like if you let these dry, then I could do more scribbling on top if I wanted to. I like this one. It's nice and it's more subtle. Okay. And practice overlapping with thick impasto, scraping for transparency. Okay, so here we have one. That was the charcoal pencil. This was the Sharpie. And this was the Posca pen. Now, this one, like I said, I'm going to come back and brush over that. I've got this red here. It might be nice to brush over the top. Just real quick, I'm going to see if I go over with white, yep, okay, if the paint is dry enough and I go over with another color, it'll embed in those groove marks. That's really fun to play with. Like if I had red, I could have done that with red. But do it too much, I'm going to lose some of those marks. But so if I let it dry a little bit longer. Okay, so I think you get the idea. So now I have 3 studies. When they dry, I can still do dry brush. My idea is to make a bunch of these studies with this process, but exploring different color palettes. And then we'll probably cut up portions of them and arrange them in a larger mixed media piece. See, now I can't help it. I gotta add some more yellow ochre. Okay. But there's 3 different color interactions here. This is much softer. This is probably the boldest, and this is somewhere in between. Okay. Integration of mixed media techniques in a layered manner.